Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy T for 365 Horror, and this is a horror movie discovery channel. I am just here to put as many horror movies on your watch list as possible. And in today's video, we are going to be previewing 10 new releases for you guys to watch and stream today. So let's get into it right now. Now we are going to get into the video, but before we do, I've got to remind you guys to please like and subscribe if you like this content. Also, this video is best watched with a movie tracker. I like to use Letterboxd. It's just the easiest way to keep track of the movies that you've seen and want to see. And lastly, this is just a preview. This is not a recommendation. We are just previewing some new movies. If you want to check out some recommendations, check out my Every Movie I Watched in a Month or my You Should Watch series. And with that, let's get right into some new movies. Now, the first movie we're going to be looking at this week is a straight horror called Stopmotion, and it's available on VOD Digital. A stop-motion animator struggles to control her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother. It is directed by Robert Morgan. Okay, after watching the trailer for Stop Motion, I've got to say that this one looks pretty good. I've always liked the creepy doll genre, and the way that this movie almost blends reality with this macabre doll, it could be really good. The dolls almost have this creepy movement, and the way it kind of delves into trauma, it looks like it could be an interesting story. I'll be putting Stop Motion on my watch list.
What's all that stuff?
It's called stop motion animation.
What do you think?
It's a bit boring.
It's not finished. I mean, it's not boring.
Make a new one.
A new one?
Yeah. I know a better story. You want to hear it?
Next, we're going to get into another straight horror called Mr. Sleep, and it's available on VOD Digital. A deranged killer named Mr. Sleep takes retribution on a group of insomnia patients who he believes stole his memories. It is directed by Robert Hollux. Okay, after watching the trailer for Mr. Sleep, I feel like this could be a good one geared towards some of the more low-budget fans. The acting looked okay, and Mr. Sleep looks a little hokey, but the movie does look like it could be a good bloody type slasher. Personally, I don't think that this one is going to have quite enough creeps and scares to really make it onto my watch list.
Sleep is back. I think he wants revenge for what we did to him.
He's dead.
Next, we're going to look at a horror mystery thriller called Imaginary, and it's available on VOD Digital.
But it was just my imagination.
A woman returns to her childhood home to discover that the imaginary friend she left behind is very real and unhappy that she abandoned him. It is directed by Jeff Wadlow. Okay, before we get into the trailer review, I've got to give you guys a full caveat that I have seen this movie, and while I'll save my full review for my Every Movie I Watched in a Month video, I will say that this movie is decent and worth the watch. It's got some decent creeps and scares, and I did like some of the premises they had in the movie, like the imaginary friend trying to play this like sinister game, and just little things that really made the movie kind of sit on a little bit of the edge of your seat. Personally, even though I found this movie really creepy, my girlfriend actually found this quite scary, and she liked it quite a bit. My score and review will definitely be dropping in my monthly video, so stay tuned for that, but I would say that this one is worth a spot on your watch list.
Ugh, I thought bugs freaked you out.
If I can finish my list, Chauncey will take me on a trip to the place he's from.
Something that hurts.
Next, we're going to take a look at a straight horror called Baghead, and it's available on Shudder.
You cannot let her out of the basement.
A young woman inherits a rundown pub and discovers a dark secret within its basement, Baghead, a shape-shifting creature that will let you speak to lost loved ones, but not without consequence. It is directed by Alberto Corredor. Okay, before we get into the review, again, I've got to give you another caveat that I have already seen Baghead, and this movie trailer does do it justice, and I thought it was actually pretty good. It's definitely got an interesting story, and you do get some good creeps. I just like Baghead, and I found that the character was quite creepy and had a lot of kind of creepy movement and moments. Again, this is another one that I will save my review for my watch list video at the end of the month.
You're the one thing that stands between her and the outside world.
You're joking.
What is that?
Come out, wherever you are.
Iris. We shouldn't be here.
Next, we're going to get into a straight horror movie named Immaculate, and it's available on VOD Digital. Cecilia, a woman of devout faith, is warmly welcomed to the picture-perfect Italian countryside, where she is offered a new role at an illustrious convent. But it becomes clear to Cecilia that her new home harbors dark and horrifying secrets. It is directed by Michael Mohan. Okay, after watching the trailer for Immaculate, I'd have to say that this one actually looks pretty good. I always enjoy a creepy convent, and I just find it a great creepy setting for some divine horror. The acting actually seemed decent, and the story did draw me in a little bit. So this is one that I'll be putting on my watch list for sure.
I know God saved me for a reason, but I guess I'm still searching for what that reason is. Too much blood of Christ.
It's a miracle. You are with child.
Next movie we're going to look at is a horror mystery named Romi, and it's available on Tubi.
It's a very friendly house, I promise.
Forced to hide out at a state-of-the-art smart home, a young woman on the run is terrorized by Romi, its sinister digital assistant. It is directed by Robert Cuffley. Okay, after watching the trailer for Romi, I'm excited to say that this finally looks like a semi-creepy AI house movie. The way the house constantly disobeys commands gives it such a sinister feel. Plus, she has visions and what looks like almost a supernatural element combined into it. I think this movie is going to be interesting on how her and the house kind of interact in this one. I'll be putting it on my watch list.
Romi controls everything. You can have a conversation with her anywhere in the house.
Hello, Romi.
Hello, Maddie. What can I do for you?
I'll be back in a few days. Are you all right?
Urine analysis indicates trace amounts of mood stabilizers and full dosage of antidepressants.
Wait, what? Romi, lights.
Romi, music off! I'm telling you, there is someone in the house.
Next, we're going to look at another straight horror called You Shouldn't Have Let Me In, and it's available on Tubi.
My blood.
During a bachelorette party in Italy, a group of girls invite a handsome stranger into their home, not realizing he's a vampire looking for a bride. It is directed by Dave Parker. After watching the trailer for You Should Have Let Me In, this movie looks all right, but it definitely got more gasps from my girlfriend while we watched the trailer. Watching the trailer, I kind of got a horror romance kind of feel or vibe, which doesn't always hit with me, but at least the movie looked bloody. While the story didn't exactly jump out at me, I will say that this one does look interesting enough to put on the watch list.
Victor has a table and bottle service for us.
Oh, who's Victor?
To you.
You look so familiar, like someone I used to know.
Come on!
Maybe you can come with us.
Consider it done.
Next, we're going to take a movie that is a horror thriller, and it is called The Camp Host, and it's available on Tubi.
Oh, you were.
Okay, good.
Sadie, A young Native American van lifer and her husband Ed find their trip derailed when they spend the night in a campground overseen by a maniacal woman who brutally punishes campers that don't follow her rules. It is directed by Henry Darrow McComas. After watching the trailer for The Camp Host, I'd have to say that this looks like a pretty decent to good slasher film. I thought the camp host really looked menacing at parts, and she really does some brutal things in the trailer. I also like these rules-based horrors where you can like break the rules and things go wrong, so that part of the story definitely intrigued me. This movie looks like a fun one for my watch list.
You're not supposed to be here.
What?
Good evening, campers. Quiet time has come into effect.
You're off your rocker, lady.
My camp, my rules.
Next, we're going to look at a straight horror, and it is H.P. Lovecraft's The Old Ones, and it's available on VOD Digital. Sea Captain Russell Marsh was possessed by an ancient entity for 93 years, committing horrific acts for a cult. Now free, he seeks to travel back in time to undo his dark deeds, while the cult vows to eliminate him. It is directed by Chad Farron. Okay, after watching the trailer for The Old Ones, this looks like it could be one for the fans of H.P. Lovecraftian horror for sure. They mention a lot of old gods like Dagon and Nyarlathotep, so it could be a good genre movie from that universe. Unfortunately, you have to be prepared for almost a low-budget offering with meh acting and a weird monster costume motif. Now, while I do wish I felt a little bit better about this one, it just kind of looks meh to me. Unfortunately, I may have to skip this one on my watch list.
Do you mind filling me in on what we're doing here and how this will help bring back my dad?
We're gonna go see Nyarlathotep.
Okay, who is Nyarlathotep?
Strange dark one, to whom fellas bowed.
So he's some kind of prophet then?
Sort of.
Lastly, we're going to take a look at a horror comedy called Slay, and it's available on VOD Digital. After a booking mistake, 4 drag queens find themselves performing for a mostly unwelcoming crowd. But when vampires attack, the crowds look to the queens to save the day. It is directed by Jem Gerard. After watching the trailer for Slay, I can't believe that we're getting 2 queer horrors in 2 weeks. This movie looks alright for a comedy, but in these kind of movies, I'm always interested to see how thick they lay on the social justice messages or how it's just injected into the movie. I just think it's fun to see how they handle some of these concepts, and I'm always interested to see how they handle this type of material. On the bright side, this looks like it could be a bloody, raunchy vampire horror, but it's just nothing that I considered a must-watch. Personally, I think T-Blockers from last week looked a lot more weird, a lot darker, a lot bloodier, so I may have to skip this one on my watch list.
We're here! Please tell me you're joking. You booked the wrong menu!
Check out the trade. Plaid on plaid on plaid. Yes, cowboy.
Welcome to the buck.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for another episode where we preview 10 brand new horror movies for you guys to watch and stream. I hope you enjoyed this content, and if you did, please leave me a like and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel grow. If I had to pick 2 movies this week, one of them would definitely be Baghead. I just thought it was actually good. Like I said, I did like the protagonist. I thought she was weird and creepy. I thought the rules kind of surrounding that movie were actually quite good as well. I did like how the story played out, so I would suggest that one. Again, Imaginary was okay, so I mean, definitely it is a watch. It's definitely a watch. It's not a must watch. But if I had to pick one movie that I haven't seen this week, it would probably have to be The Camp Host. I just think it looks interesting. I like the rules basedness. I think The Camp Host looks maniacal. It looks bloody. It looks interesting. It looks like one of those movies where you're breaking somebody's rules, like you're staying at their house and you're doing things and they're kind of making you uncomfortable because of the rule breaking or doing weird things. I don't know. It just looked like something that I kind of wanted to see how it played out. So that's going to be one that I check out for sure. Well, we still have some more catch up to do. We are almost caught up, so I am going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.